What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
You already know what time it is, man. The young goat in the building. Make sure you tune in to True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah! What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat. What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands is on me.
Oh, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat, YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for Rated Raw Review, episode 37, Last Monster Standing, or Monster Night Raw. We are going to be talking about last night's September 30th, 2024 edition of WWE Raw as only we can. And look at that! After a month hiatus, this man has taken more breaks this year than possibly Roman Reigns. He is my co-host here on Rated Raw Review every Tuesday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, not every Tuesday for the last month, but he's back, and he's better than ever. It's Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
Back for a limited time only, because you know what next Monday night is? Oh, my God. Game 2. Yankees versus whoever it is. No, I'll be here. I'll be here next week because you know what?
This guy's ridiculous.
Yesterday was the last, for now, for 3 months. 3-hour Raw. Throw it in the trash. Let's enjoy these 2-hour Raws for the next 3 months. And these reviews, they're going to get shorter.
We might be able to get one done in like an hour. We might be able to get one done in an hour, which I would be like, oh man, I got time to like eat and spend time with the kids before I have to work the shoot job. Like it's gonna be sweet starting next week. This was a nice bon voyage for the 3-hour era, and I think there is. I was looking at this show and I was like, you probably won't be showing up too much on 2 hours. You won't be showing up too. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all still got a job. You're still getting paid, but we might not need you every Monday night.
It'll be interesting to see If he still tries to fit people in, just there's much shorter segments, or they just cut him completely.
And the Judgment Day ain't gonna get what did they get on tonight's show? I think they got like 20 minutes straight between their match and then bro, they won't be able to do that type of stuff with 2 hours. But
that's what I think will happen to make room for the smaller characters, is that the major characters will get time cut.
Yeah. Which it works. It works. We'll see. You see how it works on SmackDown. It'll work similar on Raw. But I'm excited to talk about this show, having Romeo back here. It's been a while since we've been on camera together, but he's also doing some great stuff over on Trail. He sports and entertainment with the NFL watch-alongs and watch parties, so you can check him out over there. But we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live here on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family for all your social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, welcome. Welcome to the party. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And if you're watching on any of the 3 platforms, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, and of course, make you a part of the conversation. But if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, and make sure your comment is highlighted on screen. The best way to do that is with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And Romeo hasn't been here in a while, so show the support you've been showing over the last couple of weeks, because I've been having people show support to troll you. So now they're going to show support to support you.
Yeah, guys, my invoice for September says $0 because I was on any stream. So help me out.
Help a brother out.
For October.
Help a brother out. So he gets that hit in November for October. But yes, we got Vala B in the chat with us, one of our members and Patreon backers. Thanks for coming today, Vala B. He says, love the thumbnail. You could see it in Braun's face. His knees are so fucked. Yo, he was limping like midway through that matchup.
He gutted it out, and I'm sure he got a lot of respect backstage for it. That was a Herculean effort by Braun Strowman, and now we probably won't see him for a bit because I don't know. He probably got to shake off that injury. Looked rough.
I think if you're gonna try to kind of use his injury to put someone over, there is someone on the show that storyline wise, you could do a little write-off for him to kind of propel him following his big move on the show. So I'll get into that a little bit later. We also got Vala B, who says, this must be a mistake. I see Romeo on my screen.
I'm here. By the way, fun fact, just so you guys know, if you didn't know before, I'm the one that makes the thumbnails on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Except for the ones where AEW doesn't get their photos out on time. They wait till after AE Ramble has started before they upload their photos. What kind of clown show we run on that website? WWE, they have their photos an hour tops after the show. An hour? Come on, guys.
Sometimes almost immediately WWE has them. And WWE, it's so easy to get the pictures that we got for the show. I just get it from WWE's website. Where AEW, I tried to because they did have it on time for AEW Collision Grand Slam, but all their fucking pictures are in web.p. Yes. So I have to transfer them over to JPEG and stuff like that. No, it's too much work. So I got a couple of them from just screenshotting on watching it on my phone and stuff.
But one thing AEW does have an advantage over is New Japan Pro Wrestling, because guess what? New Japan Pro Wrestling doesn't even know what HD is. They don't even have high def photos. They have photos that were taken with a microwave. Like, come on. It's 2024, New Japan.
They have been in under construction for their website for a good 6 months. It's been a good 6 months that the website has been under construction.
Man. And Japan's supposed to be this technologically advanced country. What is going on?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I haven't figured out photographs.
We got Eric Isaac in the chat with us today. He says, "Hey, THH fam, JD gets the final lick before Blad Blood. Sammy gets his shot at Gunther. The party girls are back, and Strowman is king of the monsters thanks to Seth. Welcome back." He is our one sentence reviewer here. Thank you, Eric Isaacs, for joining us today. We also got my former co-host here on Rated Raw Review, Chase Oliver, who's in the chat. He's working today, or we would have had our first time with all three of us on the show, but he sends a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chase, for the love and support. He says, "My eyes are deceiving me. This has to be AI. I don't believe this is actually Romeo."
I don't know what you're saying, Chase. This is not AI. This is the one and only Romeo.
Hey, that's a good thing if you like had AI to place bets. Wouldn't they have a better
They're more
odds?
stupid.
Thank you, Chase, for the super chat donation. But yes, we got to get into Monday Night Raw, which last night was from Evansville, Indiana. And I think that, before we went live, I said my feelings to you about this episode of Monday Night Raw. And I think a lot of that came down to this was not the usual Monday Night Raw crowd that we've been used to. This very much felt like an AEW Dynamite type crowd, wherein WWE did the TK thing of only opening up basically half the arena for tickets. They were at I think it was the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana, and that's an 11,000 seat arena, and they only opened up about 6,500 to 6,800 seats for the show.
Terrible. The hell is that, WWE?
Yeah, it was very weird because the reason why I looked this up and got this information is because me and Jimmy Macaron, we usually talk live during Raw. He likes Raw out of all the WWE shows, and I was
come on here. They come review.
I told him that. He instead he wants to spend the first 30 minutes of AE Ramble talking about WWE. But no, he was asking me, he was like, yeah, the crowd looks seems kind of different from usual. And I was like, yeah, it looks really dark. And that's what made me look it up. I looked at Rustix, which said it was about 6,700 seats were available to begin with. And the last time that it was there, I think they did around 6,000. And when I gave Jimmy those numbers, he was like, why the fuck they keep running Evansville then? And I got some information from my good friend, Cher Delaware, who is very close to the Evansville area and could, usually goes to shows over there. It's very cheap to run out of Ford Center. So that's why WWE runs 2 shows a year there.
And this is around where Royal Rumble will be, right? I don't know how far Indianapolis is.
No, I think Royal Rumble's going to be in Indianapolis, isn't it?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how far that is from Evansville and all that shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But hey, you opened the door. You just reminded me. You're talking about seats. You're talking about opening up seats and all that stuff. I got to get my rant out of the way here now. Tony Khan. I'm sorry. We're going to talk AEW here, but you got Ospreay and Ricochet. You got Danielson, Okada. New York, a stadium couldn't have got one of those matches. One, you think
you got Bryan and Nigel?
Who cares? What? Who cares? I'd rather see Danielson, Okada, and then you give Nigel to.
Oh, you greedy! Greedy! You sounded like you're from Chicago.
The nice folks in wherever the fuck they're at Wednesday. Who cares? You have a stadium, yeah, Pittsburgh, yeah, whatever. Put it in the stadium. You have a stadium show. You think you could have sold and opened up a few more sections if you advertised one of those matches for Grand Slam? You think? I think you would have sold a lot more seats. I think you would.
Hey, they sold 2,000 seats in like 2 days.
But put one of those matches on. There's plenty more seats opened up. SP3, I saw them.
I know that. That.
You could have opened
a place that hold 20,000 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, what are you saving those matches for? The 5-year show? Who cares?
You gotta have big matches on all these shows. When you're doing back-to-back special shows, you gotta have some big matches for Grand Slam, like Bryan, Nigel, Moxley, Darby. The tag team title match was one of the, I don't know, if I was there live, I would have said that was one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen live, but I think it's one of the best tag team matches of 2024 at least. And then so you got your big matches. Now if you're saying one of these matches could have been on the Collision Grand Slam, that I agree with you, because Collision Grand Slam was lacking in the bigger matches.
Oh man, so sad. Yeah, and you gotta. I'm sorry, I gotta rant more. You gotta tape more of these Collision matches before Dynamite, so people can be there to see it. I stayed there till 12:18 a.m. That was me because I'm a sicko. A lot of people did not.
Which is
very sad. Very sad.
Which is fair. It's a Wednesday, Tony. Like, what are we doing? I do love. Did you watch the actual Collision Grand Slam? Or like when it was on TV?
No, but if you're gonna talk about the Riccaboni thing, I did see that.
I love that. That might have been Tony Schiavone's greatest moment as a commentator for AEW.
That was funny.
Ian's hiding under the ring. Ian wasn't even there, but that was the way that they sold it. Great job, Tony Schiavone. But yes. But let's talk about WWE. See, I was about to say AEW. Let's talk about WWE Raw from last night. Emmanuel in the chat, thanks for joining us. He says, didn't get to watch last night due to work, so I'm here for the SP3 and Romeo recap.
He must not see me. He must think I'm AI too.
He's like, that's not real. Like, it's SP3 doing it with a robot. The show kicked off with
I don't think I'm too about robots. I'll tell you that.
The show started off with Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore in the ring, welcoming us to Monday Night Raw. We see CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and his dog, and Bronson Reed showing up at the building. Braun is stealing Braun's gimmick with the dog. What are we doing? That's or
Braun's
CM Punk's
thing.
gimmick.
Yeah, that's him. Well, his dog is. SP3 chat. Who has an uglier dog, CM Punk or X-Pac?
Holy shit! We roasted dogs on this show.
Who has an uglier dog?
Oh no! Oh,
Battle of the ugly dogs.
We get a video package for Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker last week. This included fan footage from the people in the arena and watching at home. And then we see Jey with his son amongst the fans in the concourse, surrounded by the fans, all hyped for him. And he says, yeet into the camera with his son. That was a cute moment.
Love it. Jey is for the kids.
Kisses his son on the forehead
Future
before
bloodline.
He makes his way out into the crowd. Big celebration entrance for Jey Uso with the whole crowd singing along and yeeting with him. He poses in the ring. He gets the full firework extravaganza that we couldn't see last week because he jumped into the crowd real quick. That's didn't see the fireworks last week. The crowd chants, "You deserve it," and I think that was the high for me in this segment, because I'll be honest, I don't know what this promo was. But Jey gets on the mic and he says this was his first singles championship and he would fight every day, yeet, for it, yeet, against anyone who wanted it, yeet. Jey loved the fans. He's like, I love y'all. Thank them for having his back all these years. He appreciate being able to enter with the title and with his son Jace by his side. His family made the road hard for him. Roman Reigns made it hard for him. He was just a twin for years. They didn't know him then, but they know him now. Jey tossed his glasses aside and he said his biggest fan was his mother. She told him to go out there and show them who you are. Go out there and get it. And he says, I got it. And mama, we did it. And he held up the belt to cheers from the fans. Braun Breaker interrupted this promo. The former champion, Braun, made his way to the ring. But he says that he wasn't out there to spoil his fun or crash the party. He respected the title and he says that he said a couple of weeks ago that the title was his family, but he also respected Jay just as much as he respected the title after their battle last week. And on that one day, Jay was the better man. Braun wasn't going to spear or attack Jay. He only wanted to offer him his hand and congratulate him. He extends his hand to Jay, and Jay accepts, shaking his hand. And Braun doesn't attack him, doesn't hit him with a spear. He's about to leave the ring when Jay stops him, and he says that there was some dogs in Indiana. We heard the barks from the crowd, and that ends the segment. I did love the new Intercontinental Championship title with the gold, with the blue, kind of reminiscent of the old school Intercontinental Championship. That was a nice improvement for Jey Uso starting off his run with a redesigned Intercontinental Championship. But I understand that this was probably the direction for Jey Uso, was just go out there and say what you feel. But I think that he had some stuff that he wanted to say, and he eventually got to it with the stuff about his mom. That was nice, but it just felt like he forgot what he was saying, and he expected the crowd. The crowd was going crazy for him, and he maybe got emotional, and maybe that messed him up. But it just seemed like he forgot what he said, and it just came off a little bit weird. But I did like the stuff with him and Braun Breaker, although I'm not 100% sold on Braun Breaker turning babyface, and I thought that this was just a red herring for Braun to later attack Jey Uso, or even attack him next week when Jey Uso defends the Intercontinental Championship for the first time. But we got later confirmation later in the show that yes, this is Braun Breaker turning babyface, and this was a babyface turn for him with this promo exchange here. So, Romeo, what did you think about Jay's promo? What did you think about Braun Breaker turning babyface?
First, I agree with you about the title. Like the new title design definitely pops out, stands out more than it looked before. Now that little change just makes it pop out more. Yeah. Jay, you know what I think it was? I understand what you're saying. You know what I think it was? I think he was trying to, I don't know, get himself mentally in that zone where, like, it's like acting, like where you have like a crying scene. Like he wants to get choked up about his mother. And he's like trying to get there. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying the best I can, but I think he was just trying to get there, and it was probably difficult for him. I don't know, but who knows what it was. But I understand what you're saying about his promo. But I'll say this: like, I think Jay is a lot more real, and I could connect to him more than anything when he's more honest. When he takes off the glasses, he's got this whole yeet shield in front of him. This is a man who's had a lot of trauma. And the whole yeet thing is like his shield from, all that shit he's been through. But you saw a little bit of the real Jay there. So babyface Braun coming a lot sooner than I thought, but I can't blame them with the reactions he's been getting. But I wanted to see more of heel Braun. I wanted him specifically. Like, I wanted to see feuds with Priest, Seth Rollins before he turns full babyface. But I'm not upset. I understand why you would go that direction with Braun now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, once he got his glasses off and he got serious about like the family and stuff and his mom, it was better, because like the first half of the promo, it felt like I said, it felt like he forgot what he was going to say. And he also was still trying to do the yeet cadence of, let me say something. So you say yeet, and I say this, and this, and this, and you say yeet. And it was like the fans wasn't even on cue with the yeets until like a couple of sentences in. So it just really messed up like the feel of the promo at first. We also got Will Chisholm in the chat. Good to see you, Will. Haven't seen you in a couple of days, or seen you off and on. He says, Jay trying to cry, need help. Just call Cody. Just talk to Cody.
That guy is the master.
The Cody shrug. The Cody shrug into the cry. Yes.
Or Jay, you know what? Some of these guys, they take acting classes. I don't know if Jay's ever done that, but if he hasn't, good thing to invest in if you're a wrestler.
Yeah. Vala B saying, I think the Braun babyface turn was because of Ilya got injured. Might as well bring it up now since Vala B brought it up. What do you think about Ilya Dragunov getting injured in his matchup against Gunther over the weekend? And he should be out, they said, for 6 to 9 months with an ACL injury.
Depressing. I'll take the under on that. 6 months. This guy, like he and Sol Ruka, you go to like their social medias, they do all these crazy workouts, like things you could never imagine. Like they're showing off, and then they still get hurt anyways. They still tear your ACL. Like, sucks. But man, hope he gets better fast when he comes back.
I love how we just having people pop up in the chat, like True Draw Josh, who says, "Wow, Romeo actually showed up to work."
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna show up a lot more often now that Raw's going to 2 hours.
He was just biding his time. I'm
gonna save up some PTO for January when it goes back to 3.
Yeah, miss the Netflix.
I gotta be here for Netflix. Yeah, I gotta be here
for Netflix. And Rock is gonna be back for Netflix.
Yeah, I gotta be here for Netflix.
That's
Mania season 2.
Absolutely. They also confirmed the announcement that Raw would be 2 hours long starting next week, with the show starting at 8 p.m. It's going to be the first time ever Raw will end at 10 p.m. Eastern, because even when it was 2 hours back in the day, it used to start at 9 p.m.
See what I did there with the yes chance?
Yeah, because WWE
should have let the Lucha Bros go.
That was their clapback. You should have let them go. We're gonna copyright this. Outside the building earlier today, we had Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio by their lowrider. Finn Balor calls Dom to let him know that he wasn't there because of travel issues, but he'd be back soon. JD and Carlito said it was hot, so they headed inside. This just felt weird. Like I was like, what was the point of? I thought the point of this segment was, they're showing off the lowrider again. That means the Terra Twins are gonna do something to the lowrider, but they didn't even pay that off. It really felt like it was just a thing to kind of set up a surprise of Finn being there. But I expected Finn to be there.
I've seen some conspiracy theories floating around on Twitter, which is never the safest thing. So take that with a grain of salt. But people are saying that JD and Carlito are about to get kicked out. And that Dom and Liv didn't let them in on the plan. That I guess Dom and Liv knew what Finn was doing, and they just they didn't really tell JD and Carlito. And then also when they're doing their entrance for the upcoming match, like Liv is looking at JD weird. They're kind of distant a little bit. Just some conspiracy theories going around.
We shall see. And I did see on Raw Talk, Finn Balor kind of teased something like that, where he said that Judgment Day always changes. And
there you go.
No one's safe.
This guy Finn always up to his treacherous shit. Oh, we're family. Bullshit. You know, you see the other rumor going around? Who would join Judgment Day?
Who?
Raquel. She's got a history with Rhea.
I don't know if I might be responsible for starting that rumor.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because I've done a few articles, a few features for Wrestle Talk, where it was like, predict, like they give me the assignment of who's gonna return, and I like a couple of them I've been like Raquel returns and helps Liv against Rhea.
Maybe that's an article idea. Who would make a good new Judgment Day if you're gonna take out JD and Carlito? Some ideas, because I've heard people floating around. This doesn't make any sense. AJ Styles, he's on SmackDown.
Yeah, no. But our opening matchup here was Xavier Woods going one-on-one with Rey Mysterio, first time ever. They had a very clunky start to this matchup, and I don't really think they ever recovered from that, where they were kind of like they weren't in the right spot for a little running of the rope spot. Then Rey kind of botched his, baseball slide drop kick. Ray, but eventually Woods got control. He hit a big leg drop off the apron onto Ray across the barricade. Ray had the better of Woods for a bit afterwards. He hits a nice little springboard moonsault, a seated senton, and a springboard crossbody. Ray went for a 619, but Woods ducked. You could see Ray released the strap of his mask, which set up the finish here. As just before the another 619 and 10, they awkwardly traded counters until Woods inadvertently ripped off Ray's mask. Ray covered his face. Woods was caught off guard, but eventually took advantage and rolls up Ray for the 1-2-3 to pick up a huge victory, arguably the biggest victory of Xavier Woods' singles career, as he picks up the win and he gets booed by the crowd as he tried to play innocent, saying that he didn't mean to do that. Ray was not happy with this at all. Then we came back from commercial break, and we saw an exchange between Woods and Kofi Kingston. Kofi asked Woods if he took Ray's mask off on purpose. Woods says, "No, I respect Ray. He's the best." Woods thought that Kingston would be there to congratulate him, though. Kingston was excited that he won the matchup and beat a former world champion. He then lets Woods know that he just talked to Jey Uso and he offered him an Intercontinental Championship shot next week. Woods sarcastically says that he could stand by his side and watch Kofi climb the mountaintop again. But Kofi then says he turned the title shot down and says that he told Jay that you should get the title shot, talking about Woods. And Woods immediately brightens up, starts being sarcastic. He gets pumped up and he says, "Wow, thanks." He says, I know I can beat Jey Uso. I was like, God damn, all right. He says that he was excited. They both were excited. And he says that the fans would be chanting New Day Rocks. They got on the same page. Kofi said he has to get ready for his matchup against Chad Gable later in the show. And Woods says he thanks him for letting him do his thing out there on his own, but he wants to be by his side just in case American Made is out there. And Kofi says, no problem. All the while they're talking backstage, you see in the background there, that is one Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Who sowed the whole seed of dissension within the New Day. So he's watching it grow in the background there. But yes, it was made official next week. This Photoshop is hilarious. Jey Uso will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Xavier Woods, a reuniting of the New Day Usos rivalry, but this time in singles competition. What did you think about Woods versus Rey Mysterio? And what did you think about Woods backstage with Kofi setting up Jay versus Woods?
That Photoshop isn't as bad as the one they have for Ethan Page. Did you see that one?
No. With the black hand? Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What the hell?
What is up with y'all? Why y'all doing this?
Xavier, listen, hey, man. Complete accident with the mask. Shit happens. You got to take advantage. You can't feel sorry. That's the disadvantage of wearing a mask when you wrestle. It can be very distracting. Like, people are trying to say it's a heel thing by Xavier Woods. You do what you got to do to win. I mean, the mask came off. What do you want him to do? Jeez, come on. And then Kofi right after questioning him. Oh, Xavier doesn't need that negativity, man. I swear, man. They're trying to paint Xavier such a bad light. This man has done nothing wrong to this point. To this point, he's done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
Now later, he did do something wrong.
That was an accident. He didn't do it wrong.
Oh, now this.
He's trying to help his buddy. That's all. It's a miscommunication. That's all.
That's all Kofi's been doing. Kofi's been doing miscommunication.
Yeah, he's way up on the scoreboard, though. He's much more higher. Xavier's a title to mess up a few times here.
Wow. The double standard of Romeo here.
They're not a double standard. This man has done nothing wrong. Standard. The same way they try to paint Hangman in a negative light too. It's like, come on, that guy's done nothing wrong either.
I mean, burning down someone's house is arson. It's actually arson, sir. Just one.
That man came into his home. Don't forget.
And he gave his child merchandise.
Nice try.
We got Safet. It says, was
No.
it the heel move?
No. He did what he had to do to win.
I mean,
Ray,
I've
you don't
seen-
want that to happen? Take your mask off. We already know what you look like.
I didn't like the match, though. I thought that there
Didn't?
was just something off. Yeah, I didn't like the match.
No.
Just felt like they weren't on the same page. And I understand it's their first time going against each other. I like the finish, but I didn't like the match.
Yes, I like the finish.
Yeah.
I thought the other match later is also sloppy.
Yeah.
With Kofi.
Yeah, that did have some sloppy stuff as well. But like I said, that's another one where I was like, I like the finish, I just didn't like the match.
It's all about the finish.
It's all about how you finish, brother. We got Zoe Stark up next, going one-on-one with Lyra Valkyria. Yep, the Pure Fusion Collective are here. Valkyria fought back after an early break, but Stark cuts her off with a forearm and springboard dropkick. Valkyria reversed a Z360 into a nice little German suplex. Baszler distracted the referee while Valkyria had it won with a cradle. While the referee still distracted, DeVille hit Valkyrie with a knee strike, and then Starks followed up with the Z360 for the 1-2-3. Post-match, Pure Fusion Collective beat down on Lyra after the match, but it was Kaden Carter and Katana Chance making their return to Monday Night Raw. They ran out to make the save. They hit DeVille and Baszler with the cake stand finisher and ran off PFC in the post-match here. So, I mean, it was a match. It's one of those middle of the first hour women's matches that doesn't get much of a reaction, and definitely didn't get a reaction here. And I still feel like Lyra Valkyria, I feel like we've been saying the same thing for 6 months, Romeo. Lyra Valkyria is just missing something. There's something that isn't connecting yet, and it's not the same vibes that we got in NXT. It just feels her character is very generic at this point. But post-match after the break, we got Katana Chance told Jackie Redmond that they were out for revenge after she got her nose broken by PFC. They were planning on going after the tag titles next when Isla Dawn and Alba Fire showed up to tell them that they weren't cutting the line. Chance and Carter got irrationally upset, and Chance started screaming at the top of her lungs. And they looked like goddamn midgets because Isla Dawn and Alba. What the hell did Isla Dawn put on, like platform shoes?
I think so. She likes to wear those. I think so.
Jesus Christ. I was like, you're already standing next to Katana Chance. You do not need to wear heels or platform shoes. What did you think about Zoe and Lyra and the post-match with the return of the Party Girls?
The match, I can't imagine how much shorter these matches are going to be in 2 hours. They're already short in 3 hours, if they're even going to be on the show. The aftermath. Did you see? Oh my! It looks so bad. I didn't notice it on first glance, but I noticed it when someone pointed it out on social media. Shayna's choking out Katana, and Kane sort of just like walks by, ignores it, just so that they could get to the next thing, which whatever it was. It's like,
yeah,
it looks so bad. I was like, what the hell? You can't do that.
I think once he gave because I was interested in Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville together. But once he gave them that Pure Fusion Collective name, they've been DOA. That's a DOA name.
You can't kill somebody with a name.
Yes.
You can't. Remember the Viking Experience?
Viking Experience.
They changed it though.
The Maximum Male Models was that. Like Maximum Male, it was a dead on arrival gimmick, but the name itself automatically models in the name. Yeah, it's like.
Oh, by the way, Katana, I know you're trying, but the angry version of you is just
really
like
bad.
Nails on a chalkboard.
Really bad. It was not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I make beats saying I was hoping for a better push for Lyra after Queen of the Ring, even though she lost. She is really good in ring. But the key with main roster is you need a character. You need something character-wise that's going to help you stay and maintain having a better push. And Lyra just doesn't have that right now.
She's a bird.
Literally, Jimmy McElrath doesn't even call her Lyra or Valkyria. He calls her Bird Lady. He's like, something's missing with Bird Lady.
There you go.
Not
She needs
Bird
Becky
Man,
Lynch
Bird
back.
Lady.
She needs something to cling on to.
Yeah, I agree.
Be Becky's protege.
There was a video package for the last monster standing.
Oh, it looks so great.
They played it last week, and I was like, yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. King Kong and Godzilla.
Great job.
Yeah, he also informed security he wanted the match to stay in the ring. So my question, that was Adam Pearce talking to security. I was like, so why'd you book a last man standing matchup?
Yeah, dummy.
Stupid. Katana Chance told Jackie Redmond that they that was already what we discussed. And next we had a segment that I was like, okay, this is the first segment, a legit segment in the ring that I've enjoyed. We had CM Punk and Drew McIntyre come out for their Hell in a Cell Bad Blood preview promo. Yeah, we got that.
Here's the light.
As they lowered the cell, and yes, we got the old school cell. That's the whole. I feel like that's the whole reason that they had the promo in the cell, is to say, "Hey guys, we got rid of the red cell."
What was the last cell match? I don't even remember. Do you?
The last Hell in a Cell match in WWE was Balor and Edge.
Oh, the one they had Edge unnecessary. Oh my God, why did Edge win that? Somebody please tell me. I'll never get over that. Never.
I have no clue. And it took like 15, 20 minutes for them to freaking tape up Balor's head after he got busted open.
Wipe up his blood, yeah.
Pierce was in the Pierce was in the ring with 8 security guards. Pierce said that there would be no physicality between Punk and Drew tonight, but wanted to give them one final chance to speak ahead of their matchup. Punk was wearing a white CM Punk Best in the World shirt and white pants, while McIntyre wore an all black tuxedo.
The dark.
McIntyre said that a tuxedo was out of respect. Not respect for Punk, though, but respect for his wife. After Saturday, she would have to bathe and feed Punk through a tube. She would probably leave him, too. That got the ooze from the crowd. McIntyre also wore a tux because there would be a celebration when Punk was gone and he wouldn't come back this time. Punk has been back for less than a year, and he was injured for 4 months, more than 4 months, Drew. Now he'd be gone forever, and it would be thanks to McIntyre. Even after all the evidence that has been presented to the fans, they still chant for Punk. Roxanne Perez worshiped this man, but realized what kind of person he was after spending a few days with him. Eventually, fans would have to look in the mirror and realize who the idiots were. Punk hated McIntyre, and McIntyre hated Punk. Punk taught McIntyre how to hate. McIntyre didn't have time for hate in his life anymore. Hate was a powerful weapon, though, if you use it correctly. But it was dangerous if it stayed with you long term. He was lucky, because at Bad Blood, that hate would die with CM Punk. McIntyre was about to leave the ring when the mic was handed over to Punk, and Punk said, "People have called him a lot of things throughout his career. Among them was the Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless. Tonight, Punk was voiceless because he had nothing to say to a piece of garbage like McIntyre. But he still had a lot more to say, actually. Tell me when you're telling lies, you told another one. Except that he was filled with so much rage when he looked at McIntyre. He couldn't go home and has been staying at a hotel for 4 weeks because he couldn't subject his wife to the man all of this has turned him into. He called McIntyre a son of a bitch who turned him into the fictitious boogeyman that his harshest critics have accused him of being. That was exactly the kind of man he needed to be on Saturday, to send McIntyre home to Scotland in a box. Punk wanted him to remember that he prayed for this. When McIntyre was on his hands and knees begging, he wouldn't be looking up to a god. He wouldn't be looking up to the devil. You will be praying to CM Punk. I will see you in hell.
Nice call.
This was a powerful, intense segment that just hit the mark like the last two promos, the last 2 weeks have done. They have really kind of brought it back to where I thought their feud was at pre-SummerSlam. Pre-SummerSlam, it was the hottest feud in WWE, and the promo work over the last 3 weeks on Monday Night Raw has brought us back and made us realize how personal, how intense this rivalry is, and why Hell in a Cell is the proper place to blow it off. They have sold the severity, the danger that is Hell in a Cell. The death threats were a little much, but this felt appropriate.
Don't delete that picture, by the way.
Huh?
Don't delete that last picture, by the way.
It felt very appropriate for the matchup that they're about to be into and the feud that they've been building for the past 9 months. So excellent job by both guys. This was a go-home segment that the only nitpick that I have is this felt like this should have closed the show.
Nah.
Oh no, I know what we got at the end of the show.
Before,
but
maybe
you
the last
should
thing before.
every go home show should end with a hook to make people be like, okay, that's the last thing I see. I need to go and order the show. I need to get the Peacock to buy the show. WWE is in the business where Peacock kind of sells itself, so they don't have to do that. But in any other era, that's your go home segment before the pay-per-view.
If they didn't mind doing it on a broken ring, I guess.
Yeah, hell, I don't care.
Can you put that last picture on?
Sure.
Look at this guy on the left. Who does he think he is? Don't do anything funny, Punk. Don't do anything funny. Who the hell are you? Probably a future world champion, for all we know.
You never know.
The guy on the right is probably a future world champion. Who knows? Oh, that was funny. But yeah, this promo was awesome between the two of them. I'm sold for Saturday. I was already sold for Saturday, but now I'm even more sold. This was... Both men had the look. Both men are there mentally for what you're about to get on Saturday. This is what you wanted. This is what, poor CM Punk. You want him to be angry and miserable instead of happy, not with his wife, holed up in a hotel room because he's afraid to show his wife this man that he is, filled with rage and hate. Here you go. Here he is. Here's Phil. I can't wait for Saturday. I feel like Saturday at the end of the match, at least if Punk's winning, I think we should see AJ. AJ should be like there to celebrate with Punk, and then the dog too, to like cap the feud. If Punk's winning, I don't even know if he's winning, to be honest. 100%.
I think he is. They already kind of gave it away with Punk saying that he's going after the world championship.
So then, yeah, it'd get a big pop if AJ appeared on WWE TV again. Just hug, kiss, have Larry the dog there, just raise them all, and just victorious. Yeah, that'd be a nice visual.
I wouldn't mind it. It would be a nice capper for this feud. But my question to you is, if you had the pen, what closes Bad Blood on Saturday?
I'd pull Roman and Cody aside, and I'd ask, "Are you guys okay? Is it all right? Is it okay? Phil main event. Let Phil and Drew main event. You guys go on first. Get out of here early. You guys are good to go. Fire up the crowd with this awesome tag match we're about to have. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get George Hotland off to a hot start with you guys. That's what I would do.
I would do the same. But I want to give credit where credit's due. Triple H, bravo, Triple H, because I know we could tell by Punk's demeanor, the way he's been looking, and how serious he's been selling this feud. Triple H is basically he's dangling the carrot in front of him, and he's like, he probably went to him at the beginning of early in the day yesterday. It was like, so have you decided who's headlining on Saturday? And he was just like, I'll let you know on Saturday. And Punk's like steaming, and then Triple H just turns around to Bruce Pritchard like, it was like, I need you in this mentality. I need you in this mentality. I love it.
They should be calling it a double main event, which they used to do before, but
yeah, I would call it that as well. But hey, I think that Drew and Punk have earned it, and the Hell in a Cell stipulation has earned it, and especially if it's going to be a bloody Hell in a Cell, how do you not have that close the show? But let's talk about next up. We go backstage to Kathy Kelly. She's interviewing Braun Strowman, and she asks if he is feeling trepidatious at all. And he said he didn't know what trepidation meant. The fans laughed.
I busted out laughing.
But he was not nervous. He would show the world he was the monster of monsters when he won tonight. Miz approached to speak to Strowman about interrupting his match last week when R-Truth quickly interrupted, returning to Monday Night Raw for the first time since receiving 5 tsunamis. Strowman was surprised to see him after he took all those tsunamis, and Truth didn't remember what Strowman was talking about. Strowman left to get ready. He told Miz that they'll talk about whatever he wants to talk about next week. Miz asked Truth what he was doing there, and Truth said that he worked there. He also didn't like the way that Karrion Kross was speaking to him, so he got them a tag team matchup booked against AOP. Miz wasn't sure who that was until he realized that he meant Authors of Pain, AOP. Truth never changed.
And then Truth was like, what books have they written? R-Truth did it. Wow, R-Truth came back firing. Vintage R-Truth.
We just need a couple of weeks away, and then he's funny again.
Oh, he had a whole joke book ready. Good shit.
That's the key. Kathy Kelly is interviewing Sami Zayn backstage. He wasn't necessarily bothered by Gunther's many rejections of his World Heavyweight title opportunities, but was bothered by the disrespect. He said you'd think he would be used to it, but he admitted that it did bother him. It hit a sore spot hearing Gunther say he wasn't on his level. He didn't lose sleep over it, though, because he knew how good he was. He knew he was good enough to become the world champion because he's a former WrestleMania main eventer, and Gunther could keep running and ducking his challenges, but Zayn would not go away that easily. Zayn would not stop until he got his shot, and we would learn later in the night what it would take to get that title shot. Who do you think is that behind him? That little black figure behind him.
I can't tell if it's a woman looking in the other direction or looking at our direction because it's so dark.
Yeah, look like maybe Nikki Cross.
Might just be someone that works in makeup. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? You always have to look for these things in WWE nowadays. Then we get some 6-man tag team action. The Judgment Day. Carlito, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio with women's world champion Liv Morgan in their corner versus Dragon Lee, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro. The babyfaces started hitting some flashy offense as we went to commercial break after 90 seconds. LWO were on offense after the break. They were hitting all types of dives to the outside. Wilde went to the top rope and hit a nice little coast to coast on all of his. No, that was Cruz del Toro hit a nice little coast to coast drop kick. Wilde went to the top rope, but Morgan distracted the referee, so he just stopped what he was doing instead of hitting the move. And then Balor showed up behind him as a surprise, pushing him off the top rope. He landed on his neck on the top rope, and JD McDonough hit the devil inside for the 1-2-3, picking up the victory for the Judgment Day here. Post-match, the Judgment Day got on the microphone after a nice little hug and huddle. Balor said that he heard what Damian Priest threatened last week, threatening to rip his heart out at Bad Blood, but he didn't have a heart, and Priest should know that. Balor would prove that Priest was the one who needed them and needed him, and Judgment Day never needed Damian Priest. Morgan says that she would prove that she was a home wrecking, man stealing, heartbreaking, title taking, greatest women's champion of all time, Rhea
What a
Ripley.
line. What
That
a
was a
line.
great
Delivered in
great line.
Ric Flair fashion.
Rhea Ripley interrupted this promo from the Judgment Day, and she was talking about their big matchup coming up at Bad Blood as Dom and Rhea talked. And she says that she knew all of Dom's dirty secrets. She had some stagehands bring out the shark cage for dramatic effect. And she says, including that he was extremely claustrophobic. When he was locked inside the shark cage, he'd be crying and soiling himself and cleaning himself with his new merch. He would have the best seat in the house to watch his girlfriend realize that she was not as good as her. The
We gotta
crowd
explain
cheered.
we gotta explain what they meant by Dom's new merch. That's Dominic
God.
Mysterio's face on toilet paper.
For like $25 a pop.
Really?
Yes. After taxes and delivery, it's like $25. The crowd cheered as Rhea said that they wouldn't wait until Bad Blood, and that meant that Damian Priest was in the ring behind the Judgment Day. He tossed aside McDonough and Carlito before going after Balor. Ripley snuck on Liv Morgan on the outside of the ring and laid her out with a headbutt. She then got to Dom and chucked him into the barricade. She tossed Dom up the ramp and tossed him into the shark cage. Morgan was about to jump Ripley from behind, but she saw it coming and Morgan ran away. Ripley was about to lock Dom in the shark cage, but Morgan ran back in and they started brawling to the back. Meanwhile, the numbers caught up to Damian Priest in the ring. Balor knocked him down with a sling blade. Judgment Day held back Priest as Balor hit a big drop kick and then 3 straight coup de grace. Once again, multiple coup de grace to Damian Priest to leave him laying as the Judgment Day stood tall. Now, I enjoyed the 6-man tag. It only went like 7 minutes, and we had a commercial break in between, so we only saw like 4 minutes of the matchup, but it was all right for what it was. The post-match was good to further kind of build things up for the 2 big matches at Bad Blood. They got a lot of time for this. I like the tease of putting Dom in the shark cage and Liv and Rhea fighting to the back. I believed after they made the shark cage stipulation that probably at Bad Blood, when it's Liv and Rhea one-on-one, you have Rhea win back the title. And you can have them trade it back and forth for a while to continue the feud. And then you have Balor, who has not won a singles match since June, to win against Damian Priest. Because I don't think Judgment Day is going to pull the clean sweep, and I don't think the Terror Twins are going to pull the clean sweep. But after this segment, I now think that it's going to be Liv retaining and Damian Priest winning at that.
The exact opposite of what it probably. I'd really like for Finn to win. He needs a win, a big win.
He does.
But he there's no way after what he just did in this segment. He destroyed Damian Priest. Priest is coming back with revenge. Ooh, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. I don't care what kind of new Judgment Day you're trying to plan up. It ain't gonna work. And Dom will just cheat. He'll drop something to Liv, like they usually do, and you think the odds are stacked against Liv, and she finds a way. Dom still finds a way to help her. That's what I think will happen. But yeah, I agree with you about the segment. It was all good. Good build up for Saturday. And you know what I noticed? Finn does his promo. And yeah, the audience is listening. Cool, very nice. Liv gets on the mic. Way more heat. Oh my God, the audience loses it. Boo!
She's the one with the heat. It's Liv and Dom are the heat magnets of this group. Like you have, I understand that wins and losses don't matter in WWE. I hear it all the time from people. I understand that's the gimmick. Cool, all fine and dandy. But to really kind of put someone over as someone that the fans believe is a main event star or a leader of a group, they need wins. Like you had an opportunity to at least get him a win against Rey Mysterio, and you didn't even do that. You had him lose by DQ. And now you got him and Balor, and he's the one that needs to win more than anyone on this card, and it looks like he's gonna lose again.
Sure does.
And how do you continue to feud after that?
Let me see if Vegas has these odds up. I'm sure it's terrible.
I think I did see the odds, and I think that Priest is ahead. Priest is the one ahead.
Oh, I just want to see by how much, because I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, this is from 23 hours ago. Let's see here. Damian. Oh, no, I don't want to disable my ad blocker. Fuck off. All right, Damian Priest is minus 500. Finn Balor's plus 300.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
But it was 23 hours ago.
Yeah, might have been a little bit different after that segment. We do have Brandon Brown in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. One of our members of the channel. He says Raquel Rodriguez comes back as Liv's bodyguard and costs Rhea. Might be the time to do it, especially with Dom in the shark cage. And if you still want to protect Rhea by not having Liv beat her, I thought that if Liv was going to win, it was going to be due to like Dom having brass knuckles and throwing it down from the shark cage or something like that. But if you want to introduce someone and get them involved in the Judgment Day, and that's what Finn was alluding to, then Raquel is a good choice. And it keeps to the feel of every member of the Judgment Day either being Latino or Irish. Except for Liv.
Yeah. And Liv and Raquel have history. Good history. Like they never soured out, right? They were always good, right?
They were women's tag team champions together.
Yeah. It makes sense. And they both have something against Mommy. It makes all the sense in the world. It's just Raquel would sort of have to take a back seat again because she was like more of a singles character on her own. But yeah, I'd like it. I'm down.
And plus, it would give Rhea someone to feud with for a while to keep us from having too many Liv versus Rhea matches consecutively.
And then Dom cheats on Liv with Raquel. And Liv gets it all back to her.
Oh my God! This is going to continue Dom having heel turns from being heel,
turning more and more heel,
more and more heel.
I like it.
Hey,
there you go, Trips. You're welcome.
We're here to help. We had a couple of backstage segments and pre-tape vignettes at this point consecutively, so we'll just combine them all into one. So first, you had Sheamus cut a pre-tape promo on Pete Dunne, who he called a butch and a loserweight. Sheamus knew Dunne was dangerous, so if he wanted to play rough, they should have one final banger. Sheamus offered Dunne to bring whatever gimmick he wanted for a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. And that will go down on next week's Monday Night Raw. The commentary went over to the commentary, and they paid tribute to the now deceased former WWE Hall of Famer and, of course, MLB great Pete Rose, who passed away on Monday at 83 years old and had arguably one of the most hilarious WrestleMania feuds with Kane, why he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. So thoughts and prayers to Pete Rose's family and friends and fans of him throughout the years. And then we had first Damage Control. They had a pre-tape interview, cut a pre-tape promo challenging Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the women's tag team titles. Sky said that Damage Control hasn't been the same since losing the titles at Backlash, and they needed them back. Sky was in Belair's head after a singles victory, and she would live rent-free in her head when they won the tag team titles. We also had Bronson Reed. He cut a promo backstage talking about the last Monster Standing matchup. He was asked about, before that, actually, you had a few wrestlers were shown at football games over the weekend. Seth Rollins was shown at the Ravens game. McIntyre was shown at McIntyre and Liv Morgan were shown at the Colts game, and Sheamus at the Northern Dame football game. And then Jackie Redmond interviewed Bronson Reed and asked if Rollins' eventual return would be a distraction for Reed tonight, and he said no. He wanted Seth Rollins to return. He took months off of his career, and next time he would take years off of his career. Reed would expose Strowman as the man that he was, because the Reed would be the last monster standing.
Okay, buddy. Told a whole bunch of lies there.
I was like, why are you giving it away though? Like y'all haven't mentioned Seth Rollins for weeks, and then y'all just mentioned him on the day that he's coming back.
Funny enough, R-Truth and Seth both recovered from tsunamis in the same amount of time. Good to go.
Good to go. Good here. They're all good. All good in the hood. What did you think about that whole segment with first the Sheamus good old fashioned Donnybrook challenge to Pete Dunne, Damage Control challenging Jade and Bianca, and Bronson Reed's promo?
It was all pretty basic. Nothing really crazy. I'm just, I'm really looking at next week's Raw. And they stacked it up. They stacked it up this Raw, and it's only 2 hours too. And they're going up against the Chiefs are going to be on Monday Night Football. That's always a ratings draw. And then also the baseball playoffs, the Yankees are going to be on. So you going up against two powerhouses. Your first 2 hour Monday Night Raw of the new short 2 hour era. They're going crazy. Got a world title match.
Yep, they're going ham. They're going ham on all the big matches on the show. What did you think about Damage Control? I don't know if that match, if that wasn't confirmed later in the show, if that's going to be on next week's show.
No. Well, you got to save something for a couple of weeks. Jeez, can't do everything.
They got to deal with Monday Night Football for the rest of the fall until they get into the streaming wars, and then they don't have to worry about this type of stuff. Well, they do still have to worry about it, but the numbers is not going to be out there as frequent and as quick as they would be on cable television.
And can I just say, it's been a hot debate on social media. The pay-per-views, PLEs being like 5 to 6 matches or whatever. I'm okay, especially with this one on Saturday. I feel like there's enough on there to satisfy me. And I like just spreading out some of the other stuff to the TV shows, giving those more meaning. It gives us a Raw to look forward to next Monday for Gunther and Sammy specifically.
I can't agree with that. I think the whole reason why a lot of black talent haven't been on these PLEs is the fact that Triple H is a 5-match merchant. Like he insists upon fucking doing these 5-match cards when it's like, dude, like you could have put one more match on this show. You easily have pushed like 5-6 different feuds that are not on this show that could have been on this show, and you could have cut like 30 minutes worth of ads to get it on here.
Yeah. Well, when you bring up the whole black talent thing, that's a different subject that I understand. Did you see that WWE acknowledged it now?
That Triple H
was scrolling for Twitter.
He's like, I hear y'all. All right, I know everybody that's been saying it, been bringing up me doing the gorilla pose to Mark Henry during my in-ring career. Like, I'm not racist, guys. I promise you. It don't matter what I said to Booker T in 2003. I'm not racist.
Especially in Atlanta.
It's wild. It's wild to like that. I feel like that's the whole reason why Jade and Bianca are the host of Bad Blood. It's because he was like, damn, we don't got no niggas on the show, and we got Metro Boomin as the fucking like face of the promotion for this show, but we got no black talent outside of the people that try to make Cody black.
Insert Cody's black joke. But yeah,
I can't believe they ruined that for us. Like, we were like the originators of making the Cody's black joke after the racism promo, but online of people actually using that as like, oh well, he's black, and then white people using the joke, it just made it corny. Just made it corny.
You could have had a Carmelo Andrade match 7.
Or you could have had the 3-way that they've been building on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Easily on this show.
Some black representation.
It's really been the 5-match format has really been a detriment to not only the black talent, but also to me, it's also been a detriment to the tag team division. Yeah, the tag team division get their spotlights and their big tag team title matches on TV, and that's great. And the like the triple threat ladder match that they got on SmackDown coming up on Friday, that's good. But it has been a detriment that the fact that there's been no tag team title matches on pay-per-view this year.
Well, besides the women's, yeah. That's different.
Yeah. Next up, we had Chad Gable going one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. This was yet another matchup that started and then pretty much went to commercial break after 90 seconds. Gable got a cut or a bruise on his forehead at one point in the matchup, and he began bleeding just a bit on his forehead. Gable hit a nice little German suplex outside of the ring before the commercial break and hits a nice little diving headbutt when we return from break. Gable cut off Kingston's comeback with a T-bone suplex. They traded cradles until Gable hit a cliffhanger DDT for a 2 count. Gable applied the ankle lock at another point in the matchup, and Kingston was able to quickly counter into a cradle of his own. Gable blocked Trouble in Paradise into another ankle lock, but Kingston countered again. He hits a beautiful looking SOS, but Gable was able to grab the ropes and escape to the outside. American Made tried to protect him on the outside, but Kingston wiped out Gable in the crease with the splash off the steel steps. Woods also attacked Julius Creed outside the ring, but Ivy now distracted the referee. 3rd ref distraction of the night, and this led to Xavier Woods grabbing a leg of Gable, but it inadvertently cost Kofi, who tried to hit Trouble in Paradise at the same time. It was a bad idea by Woods that cost Kingston in the long run, as Gable was able to hit the Chaos Theory for the 1-2-3 here. Good finish. I wouldn't say good matchup. It was solid enough. I thought it had a little bit of clunky moments in the opening minutes of the matchup, but I do like the finish with Woods trying to help by cheating, like he got the win earlier in the night by cheating, but this time it cost Kofi because Kofi's a good guy.
I gotta correct you there. This would have been a little cheating, but American Made cheated first, so that opened the door for it to be okay. Don't forget that. And he didn't cheat earlier the night. We already went through that. That was just, your mask gets taken off. So what? Hey, you want me to stop the match? Put your mask. No, I'm not gonna stop the match. I'm gonna keep wrestling.
He cheated. That's why he had to. He was overcompensating by apologizing to Kofi so much.
Yeah, you saw how sorry he felt. He felt sorry. He felt bad. I mean, geez.
But did he do it on purpose?
Purpose? What do you mean? He was trying to help Kofi. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
What else would he do? What else? You guys, man. You guys got it out for Xavier. I don't know why. Did he beat you in Street Fighter or something? Like, what's going on?
I don't play that anymore, sir. I haven't played a video game in
years.
But yeah, American Made got back-to-back victories. That's something.
Whoa,
that's a rarity.
Man, Chad Gable is just full Kurt Angle mode now. You're not even trying to hide it. The gear, everything, the moves. Just can somebody get Kurt Angle a job? Come have him manage American Made. That would be a lot of fun to have Kurt and Gable interacting all the time every Monday. Give him a run until Mania. Sign Kurt Angle till Mania. They don't have to wrestle. Just manage and talk. It'd make for some interesting segments.
I like it. I like that idea.
Have him try. Okay, have Kurt Angle try to reintroduce Otis with Gable, and then it doesn't work. You have that heated up towards Mania, and you have a Mania match.
Or have Kurt Angle be the new leader of Alpha Academy.
Oh, that too. That'll work too. Yeah.
Wyatt 6 VHS video played. We see your intent Anger festering into rage. Do not go down this path. It ends in your demise. You know better. Do not force our hand. Heed our what is this? Admonishment? Or I don't know. QR code played, and the QR code led us to the Wyatt 6 debut from June. They need to get to the point. They need to get to the point.
It's October. It's spooky season, SP3. So this is
going
to be all
get to the point.
Month.
Get to the point. Get to the point.
And it's going to lead to something big on that Halloween Raw. Watch.
Please just get to the point.
Spooky season.
That's all I ask. Please get to the point.
It ended with Nikki. It seemed like Nikki was like the focus of it because it ends with her. I don't know.
I can see that.
Where the hell is Alexa Bliss? When is she going to return to work?
She's being a mother. Let her be a mother. Sheesh.
Got more of an excuse than Miro. I'll tell you that. Where the hell is Miro?
They announced that Ilya Dragunov was suffered a suspected torn ACL in the matchup over
must
the
we
weekend.
say that again? Oh.
Yeah. And then it led to Gunther coming out for an in-ring promo. He said that
58 days already.
Indeed. He loved every aspect of being the world champion, being the top guy, the money, the luxury, the amenities. But there was one thing he hated about his life right now, and it was the insult of dealing with Sami Zayn every week. He could not ask for anyone more annoying than Zayn, which led to Sami interrupting him. He said if he was so annoying, there was one way to put an end to it. All Gunther had to do was put his title on the line. Zayn wanted Gunther to tell the world why he wouldn't do it. Gunther said that Zayn wasn't on his level. Zayn asked why he was the one who beat him at WrestleMania then. Gunther beat former champions and Hall of Famers, but it was Zayn who pinned him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Gunther thought that he was so much better than Sami, and that result drove him crazy. Gunther was scared that it could happen again. And the crowd started calling Gunther a coward. Gunther admitted that he was afraid. But he wasn't afraid of Zayn. He was afraid for his reputation. Losing to the better man would have been no problem. But losing to Zayn was the biggest embarrassment of his career. Gunther was so confident he would win at WrestleMania that he flew his family in. He had to look in his father's eye, who told him that he flew from Venia to Philadelphia just to watch him lose to that bum, Sami Zayn. Gunther didn't expect him to understand because his family was used to seeing him fall. And he didn't gloat and, showcase his family like Sami did. Gunther's family expected everything from him. He was the golden goose of his family. He was special. Something that Zayn would never be, the world heavyweight champion. Sami said that he did lose a lot in front of his family, but he kept pulling himself up and moving forward. But what did Gunther do when he lost to him at WrestleMania? He crumbled after he lost. He never even asked for a rematch, never asked Adam Pearce for a rematch. He disappeared for months from WWE because he couldn't show his face. All because his dad made him feel like a loser. Now he was showing his dad he was also a coward. Gunther leveled Sami with a clothesline after bringing up his daddy issues. Sami fought back, though. He hit an exploder suplex. He looked to go for the haluva kick, but Gunther caught him in a sleeper hold before turning him around and delivering a massive power bomb. Gunther then got on the mic and he accepted Zayn's challenge and saying he says that he will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against him, and he says, you can have your title shot. As Gunther walked away up the ramp, it was Sami who sat up and said, I got you. I thought this was a really good segment. Sammy has showcased, man. Sammy might be one of the best talkers in WWE. He's come such a long way. He just knows how to emote very well. Sometimes he gets a little bit overboard when he's in the ring one himself, but when he is interacting with a character like Gunther, he comes off very well. I don't like too much Gunther showing that he has like some type of daddy issues. I think that's beyond what Gunther is. And maybe we could get back to maybe Gunther being the all-esteemed, champion, but playing off of a character like Sami Zayn, I understand, because Sami's and his story going into WrestleMania was all about Sami's insecurities, and now the story going into this World Heavyweight Championship matchup seems to be about Gunther's insecurities.
Yeah, they're like humanizing Gunther.
Yeah.
Which is weird to do for a heel.
Yeah, very weird.
But yeah, like before this segment, I wasn't really feeling this, feud like the Mania. I found that more enjoyable than what was going on so far here. But this sort of brought it up a level for me. Yeah, especially with Sammy at the end. I got you. It all came together. The plan came together.
Good stuff. Safat saying Gunther and Sami Zayn promo segment was great. We also got I Make Beats, who says solid segment. He says that powerbomb was ruthless. And Safet says that powerbomb was sick. Gunther has one of the best powerbombs in the game today.
Hey, looking forward to next week. It'll be a banger.
Big matchup to have on next week's show. We did try to get some words from Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser backstage, but they were quickly interrupted by Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker stared at the World Heavyweight Championship. Braun said he wanted to see Gunther for himself. And Gunther says he really is a badass. And Braun told him that he'd find out for himself sooner than he thinks. So this makes me think that Gunther is going to take care of Sammy next week as they have their WrestleMania rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. And maybe we get Gunther versus Braun Breaker at Crown Jewel. I thought that this was building to Sammy being the Crown Jewel challenger because Sammy is so insanely popular in Saudi Arabia. But it makes me think with this backstage segment that he takes care of Sammy next week and we get Braun and Gunther at Crown Jewel.
So effing stupid. So effing stupid. And you say this shit all the time. Why? Why would you have this segment backstage tonight before the match has even taken place, before the title defense has taken place? Why? Why should we even watch now except to watch good wrestling? You're just telling us right now Sammy's not going to win. So stupid. You can't. Not that little confrontation was bad. It was nice. It was cool. Yeah. Braun was badass, and you know the history between these two. Braun has actually destroyed Gunther in NXT. For those who don't know or remember, but did it have to be last night? No, not at all. You already had Braun.
Should have been after the Sammy match.
Yeah, Braun was good for the day. He's good. You had him in the first segment. He looked like a babyface. You didn't need that right there. Save it for. Probably not next week because that's the main event. Save it for 2 weeks from now. What's so wrong about that? So stupid. It's just dumb shit. And
yeah, good shout, Safet, saying Woods and Kofi were arguing in the background. I did see that.
I thought they were good. They were fucking animated, Xavier especially.
Yeah. But man. Yeah, I don't know if this.
You
was
say
the right
that shit all the time about this when they do that. When they give a match result away before the match is taking place. That's one of your biggest pet peeves.
Yeah,
piss me off.
I don't think this was the right move, but and it basically confirms that Braun is a babyface. I thought that the first segment, like you said, was good enough where there was some vagueness. Like we wouldn't have been like, is this a face turn or is it? We would have been asking the question. Is it a face turn going into next week? But this segment really confirmed, oh, he's a babyface.
Yes, you would have created added drama. Yeah. Like with Braun Breaker's character. Now it's gone. Yeah. Less than an hour.
Next up was AOP versus Awesome Truth, AOP, Authors of Pain. Truth started off the matchup, and he was going well, doing his John Cena special. He eventually was isolated by AOP until he made the hot tag to Miz. Miz comes in all fired up, and he turns around and big boots R-Truth to no fucking reaction. Oh, it took this crowd like at least 2 minutes to be like, boo. And I was just like,
yeah, that was pretty mild.
Ooh. I was like, I guess this is confirmation that I've been right for weeks that Awesome Truth is the weakest actor in WWE, because even the breakup came off weak. Karrion Kross was delighted on the outside.
Oh, this guy was howling. Howling in laughter.
Miz walks off as AOP hit the Truth with the What a Rush combo for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here. What did you think about Miz finally turning heel after a couple of weeks teasing this?
You got to always raise your eyebrow when one of the tag guys doesn't take their shirt off for a match. It's like, oh, what is he up to? He's just still chilling on the apron. Didn't take his shirt off. Oh. But hey, heel Miz is the best Miz if we're going to choose a Miz. Better than face Miz by leaps and bounds.
Especially this face Miz, man. You remember when he was hot against Gunther last year?
Yes. Yeah. But and listen, Karrion Kross, man, this character, man. He is a bad omen if you get stuck across, if you interact with him at all. He's like Medusa. Don't even look at him. You'll turn to stone. By the way, I don't know if you saw it. It was on social media. It's on the YouTube and the Twitter. Karrion Kross cut a promo. Very good. I don't know why it wasn't on TV. He's just talking about his goals and objectives, everything, his career from getting called up to where he's at now. So good. Very short. It's like less than 2 minutes. Very good. Go check it out. But I want to run down the list of people that Karrion Kross has crossed and what's happened to them. All right, real quick. Drew McIntyre turned heel, got screwed in his home country. Gulak released. Riddick Moss and Emma released. Rey Mysterio got betrayed by Santos Escobar and Carlito. AJ Styles turned heel and disappeared. Just now coming back after losing to Cody. Shinsuke Nakamura turned heel, disappeared. Lashley got let go. Odyssey Jones.
He didn't get let go. He left.
Oh, yeah. His contract ran up. Odyssey Jones. I'm not gonna say nothing. The New Day. We know what's going on with that. And now The Miz. This list is. I love this gimmick. Now it seems 100% intentional. Before it was probably like just coincidence. Now it's 100% intentional. Anytime you cross with Kross, your world's getting messed up.
I feel like this is a Karrion Kross idea, and I think that Triple H is running with it because he loves Karrion Kross.
Oh, he loves him. He's always loved him, and it's working for me. I love it.
We get a tail of the tape for last monster standing. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. These two men started brawling right from the get-go. They go to the outside where Strowman sets up a steel steps by the announce table and delivers a massive choke slam through the announce table. Reed gets up at the count of 6 just to tell you how this match is going to go. They start brawling on the ringside area. They eventually get back in the ring after setting up 5 chairs on the outside. Strowman eventually runs very slow because at this point he started selling his knee. I don't know what happened during the commercial break, but he was selling the knee right when we came back from that first commercial break. And he ran very slow at Reed, knocking him off the apron through the 5 chairs at ringside. Strowman eventually gets up at the count of 7. They brawl around the stage area. They wound up with by the equipment boxes. Reed hoists up Strowman on his shoulders and delivers a massive Death Valley driver through some tables over there. I love Joe Tessitore. He's still learning. He said Death Drop Driver after a commercial break as they ran back to ringside. Reed tackles Strowman through the barricade, but Strowman's able to get up at the count of 7. He then spears Strowman through the barricade by the fans, knocking some fans down in the process, hopefully some plants. Officials ran
Had to
down
be.
ran down to check on the fans. In the ring, Reed started hitting a tsunami, but the referee was distracted by the commotion. He hits another tsunami. The ref still wasn't there to count. The camera was supposed to pick up on this, but the referee was actually just staring right at this because they did the wide shot and showed the referee on the outside. So I was like, why are you not in the ring counting? Reed eventually gets upset. He starts beating up security on the outside, throwing them into the ring. He tries to grab the referee when Adam Pearce gets in his face. He grabs Adam Pearce until security and officials, all the security that were by the barricade, grab him up and try to separate him from the Raw general manager. This leads to Braun Strowman, which he does the spot that they teased last week with him going up to the top rope. The anti-air that he got on this of him just going up top and just falling onto this, and the fact that his knee was already messed up, I was like, bravo, Braun. You're putting it all on the line here.
Yes.
He tries to go up to the top rope again, but Reed knocks him off with a steel chair, chucking it at his head. He then goes up top with Braun Strowman and delivers a massive superplex off the middle rope with the ring and ring post exploding. The ring is all destroyed. It looks like absolute carnage. I love on the ring breaking spot. You just see the referee just bounce out of the ring. It just looked awesome. Holy shit chants from the crowd at this point. Reed is crawling over the steel steps to get himself back on his feet when a mystery figure was running down the entrance ramp and is eventually revealed to be Seth freaking Rollins. He delivers a curb stomp to Reed on the steel steps as Strowman gets to his feet at the count of 9, and he wins the last monster standing matchup. They literally had no time to follow up on this. They immediately had the lower third come up at the count of 10. We'll see you next week. We gotta fix the ring. Seth is just showing off the Reed, but what a way to close this show. This was an awesome last monster standing match and an appropriate blow off for what's been a very effective feud. It's kind of regained the momentum that Braun Strowman had when he initially returned to WWE back in 2022. It's helped Bronson Reed come off like an absolute monster. And going into this, I believe Bronson Reed should win. But the fact that Bronson Reed out of this is going into an even bigger feud with Seth Rollins, one of the top stars in the company. And this reconfirms what I said originally with you when you were still on this show in August when the first angle happened with Seth Rollins. He needs to beat Seth Rollins now going into this feud for sure. But awesome way to close the show. And this was an absolute chaotic mess that I loved.
This was effing awesome. If you're going to watch anything from the show, if you haven't watched already, you should watch this. This was a lot of fun. This was everything it was advertised to be. This was last monster standing. They delivered on every aspect. This was crazy. I knew this was going to be crazy because it starts off the first thing in the match is getting chokeslammed through a table. The first spot. And yeah, and then Braun gets hurt. And it's like, oh man, is he gonna be able to finish this? That looks serious. He is like limping to elbow or punch Reed through the chair spot. He's limping. And I could tell, I was wondering, is he selling? Or I was like, no, he's not selling, because if he was selling, he would have done the choo-choo train spot he loves to do around the ring. He never did that spot. So he's legit hurt. He called that off. But then they go through and they get through all the spots in the match somehow, some way. The DVD through the table, that was awesome. That got a loud pop. Taking out the front row fans, that was a cool spot. Even if they're plants, it's a cool spot. Braun flying was wild, especially when he's got the bad knee. Props to him. He gutted out a hell of an effort. Hurt, injured. I'm sure they got him a lot of props backstage, especially with Triple H. He loves that shit. He created that shit. And yeah, the ring collapse. You gotta always love a good ring collapse. It wasn't the best ring collapse the way it looked, but still, the crowd popped. It went crazy. And yeah, like people said, like anytime they don't have the LED posts, you know what's gonna happen. You know
what's happening here.
And I thought Seth Rollins' return was so well done. The way he just came in, curb stomped Bronson on the steel steps to cost him getting a little bit of revenge. It's not over yet. He needs more revenge. I would have played his music though for the big pop. I would have played that.
Yes.
Burn it down. That'd have made it better. But hey man, I know what you're saying about Bronson Reed. I agree with you on Braun and Bronson that they both look good coming out of this feud. And you can run this back later because I'm sure Braun has to take some time off probably to recover from whatever injury he got from this. You can run it back and people will be more excited for it, as excited for it. But Seth Rollins is coming back. I'm sorry, man. He is coming back to bury Big Bronson Reed. Bury his ass. That's step one last night.
I think that WWE is a babyface company. So that's why Braun Strowman won. And I do think that it is a babyface company, and Seth Rollins will eventually win the feud. But I think Bronson Reed will win the first matchup.
We'll see. I'll be very pleased. Bronson Reed picks up a win over Seth Rollins. I gotta see it to believe it.
I will also say the way you kind of like cement Miz's heel turn, and if he is aligned with Karrion Kross and the Final Testament, you can get them involved in it too to make it more believable. They should be the people that take out Braun Strowman if Strowman's injured. Have him come in next week and they take him out because that falls in line with the whole kind of little friendship that we've been seeing with Awesome Truth and Braun Strowman, that Strowman has troops back against Miz and Final Testament, and they take him out.
Makes sense. And it helped them too. Yeah. Okay. Good thing you remembered that. Because I was going to ask you earlier. I forgot. Good thing you remembered.
I try my best. Eric Isaac says WWE babyface company, AEW heel company. It was actually the reverse for the first 3 years of the AEW company. It was really CM Punk and the brawl out that changed them, and then they became more of a heel company, especially with MJF's run as AEW World Champion. And then it kind of was back and forth for a little bit, and it's been mainly, I think this year they've been more of a babyface company with Swerve as World Champion and Bryan Danielson as World Champion. But it's been like WWE has been more of the babyface company over the last 2 years.
Real quick, top 5 male WWE babyfaces right now.
Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, since he's back, Seth Rollins.
We have the same
LA
top
Knight.
4 so far.
LA
Yes,
Knight.
we have the same list. I think Sami Zayn is cooled off. Otherwise, he'd be 5.
Yes, significantly.
LA Knight is past Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I would say significantly Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn can be in that top 5, but he's not as over as those 5.
Yes, we have the same top 5. Well, where does CM Punk fall? Is he 6? I think so.
Yeah, he's 6. He's definitely 6. I think that Punk cooled off because his promo work hasn't been good until the last 3 weeks.
Then after that, you get into the Randy Ortons and Kevin Owens.
I
think there's a drop off between Punk and the rest.
10. They have a top 10 right now. No, I think Orton's right there at 7 to me.
Okay.
Orton's really over.
So Sammy's 8?
Yeah, Sammy is 8. Owens 9.
They're right next to each other.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Who would be 10?
Who would be 10? I'm trying to think of like the Raw roster because Raw has more people than SmackDown does, of course. Everybody goes down a bit. I would probably put Damian Priest ahead of Zayn and Owens.
We shouldn't have forgot about him because he's pretty over.
And we're not including females here. These are the top male baby faces. I think Priest, because he's aligned with Rhea Ripley, he would be ahead of Zayn and Owens.
Who do we have after Punk?
Orton. Orton's really over right now.
Yeah, Priest probably right under Orton.
Yeah.
But he, some nights he has potential to be higher, depending on the town. They really cheer him. But yeah,
they do. But that brings us to a close for this week's Rated Raw review. I want to thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Very active today. Final call for super chat donations. If you want to show us some love for all the talk we've been doing for Monday Night Raw this week, or giving you the rundown if you didn't watch the show. And remember to drop the thumbs up on the video as well. But let us know in the chat your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. And out of 10, what did you give the show? Let's put our thumbs in the middle for the September 30th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw in 3, 2, 1. Like a slight thumbs up. I might change my little theory. I always give you either get a number or a half. A number and a half. So like say I go from 7, 7.5, 8, 8. I don't think this was a 7 show. But I also think that 6.5 would be too low. I'm going to go 6 3/4 stars. 6.75 for me this week. It was really bumped up by the last Monster Standing matchup. But the last Monster Standing matchup, the Punk and Drew promo, the New Day storytelling is always entertaining, and Gunther and Sammy were good. But everything else on this 3-hour show was mid as fuck. And this was not my favorite show of Monday Night Raw, especially the first hour. First hour may have been the worst first hour of Monday Night Raw since June.
Since what? June? Oh,
Since June. Since June. They've been on a nice run where since June, Monday Night Raw has been the best pro wrestling weekly show.
7.2 for me. I agree with a lot of what you said, but the main event is just so awesome. That was really where most of the score comes from. The main event is just like must see. That was carnage. That was fun.
I make B says I skipped some of it, so higher rating from me, but I don't know, 6.3333. I love that. But yeah, my match of the night, of course, last month.
Yes, you're gonna remember that.
Yeah. MVP for the show, I'm gonna give it to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
I'm gonna give it to several people. First, Xavier Woods. You won your match. You beat a Hall of Famer, and you got an IC title shot gifted to you by your good brother Kofi. And I'm gonna give MVP to Braun and Bronson too. That was a great effort by both men, especially Braun. And by the way, Braun is 5-0 in last man standing
matches. Yeah,
do not face this guy in a last man standing match. You are screwed.
It's a specialty. It's a specialty.
You know what? Keep building that up. Keep building that. And let someone like Gunther end it. Oh, that'd be cool.
That could be happening. I would say this was Braun's best matchup since he faced Gunther like 2 years ago. My LVP for the show, I'm probably gonna go with Braun Breaker because
Really?
I was trying to think.
I got some. You want to hear mine?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Pure Fusion Collective.
Oh,
Pure Fusion Collective, because that's an easy one for me to throw in there. The Party Girls and Lyra Valkyria.
oh, good shouts. Good shouts. My LVPs, 3 of them. First, the referee in the main event. What are you doing? Adam Pearce for thinking, I don't want these guys to get out of the ring in the last man standing match. He deserved to get fucking pushed around by Bronson. And Kofi Kingston, he lost his match, and he gave his IC title shot away to the guy who cost him his match.
Good point. That's a good shout. I might have to add Kofi to my list. But yes, that brings us to a close on another edition of Rated Raw Review. Thank you guys for joining us live. Thank you if you're watching us on demand. And if you haven't watched us on demand, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's the best Monday Night Raw review every Tuesday. Join us live, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Romeo, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media.
Romeo Damas, all social media. Check out Bad Blood Watch Party on Saturday. I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view. This pay-per-view name, the matches really live up to the name. Like, there's a lot of bad blood in this card. Priest, Balor, freaking Liv, Rhea, Drew, Punk, Roman, Bloodline, Cody. What match am I missing?
Nia and Bailey.
And that's sort of the lightest one, but yeah.
It definitely is.
Oh,
Follow
and
me on
also True Hill Heat Sports. After Bad Blood, we'll watch UFC on that channel.
Boom. Yes, go over there, support us. We just hit 700 subscribers over on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. Best place to support us when we are not live here. But we got content 7 days a week this week because it's a pay-per-view week. We got tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Join myself, Maggie of Fightful Overbooked, and Robert D. Felice of Fightful for our WWE Bad Blood 2024 previewing the card for this Saturday in Atlanta, Georgia. 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, AE Ramble reviewing AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary. And on Friday, we have a special at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, Mr. McMahon, the Netflix documentary. I'll be here to review it. I believe I'll be joined by Chase Oliver. He said he's going to join me for that one, but be here because that's going to be a fun time, or not so fun time, talking about this 6-part series on Netflix right now. But for Romeo, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 37 for the September 30th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. Last monster standing. We are signing off until next time.